Hi, everybody. It's great to be with you as we're about to end 2025. And it's a particular joy for me because, as you can see, this is our 30th anniversary. The whole year we've been celebrating the 30th anniversary of our original workshop, which is called Celebrating Men, Satisfying Women. And believe me, if you haven't heard this story before, in February of 1991, I did not celebrate men and I was not satisfied as a woman at all. And it was, if you've listened to or read the Queen's Code, it was a colleague of mine that was called a frog farmer, as in, instead of turning frogs into princes, turns princes into frogs. And when she was called that in front of about 200 people, the arrow bounced off of her shield and struck me through the heart and the head. And it was the first biggest light bulb that, oh my gosh, I'm bringing out the worst in men. And I was thrilled to find out I was bringing out the worst in men because the alternative was that men were horrible. And so to find out I had something to do with it, I just knew it was true. It was true. Absolutely true. And I was really good at it. I could bring out the worst in any man, at most maybe 2 weeks it would take. And but I didn't know how I did it because I was so normal. I was I was 30 years old and utterly normal. I I didn't have an example anywhere else in my life of anyone who behaved differently. And so I was like, wow, how am I going to figure out how I'm doing it? And this question popped into my head. And I thought it was my brilliant thought at the time, but I learned no, I'm very much guided in this discovery. And the question was, what if men are responding to women? And at first it just struck me like, wait a second. I know women who are happily married to men that I think are jerks. That maybe they treat me differently than they treat them. Maybe they're maybe they're responding to me. And I mean, I get responded to like the barmaid or a friend, a pesky little sister or something. And but never like a queen, never like somebody really special. And so I thought, well, what if men are responding to women? And I'll tell you the truth, that very night, just like about an hour later, I was asked out by a man in the back of the room. And oh, devilishly handsome. And I said yes, but I was really nervous. And I was talking to my best friend before this date was about to happen a week later. And like, I don't know, Barbara. He he's a man, like a man, and not like a boy, and not like a guy. He's not a guy, and and Barbara and I, we weren't best friends then. We have become that, but we were just starting to talk about boys and how immature they are and silly they are, and then guys. I mean, guys are just ridiculous and they're so easy to manipulate and you can basically get them to do anything. And but men, oh crap, men. How do you deal with real men? And that was the beginning. And in the beginning we thought it boys, guys, and men, and trying to out the difference between these people. Started seeing more of how women were relating to men. I realized that that was actually disparaging, that to talk about them as boys, guys, and men was a kind of insult, and had in the background the idea that they're acting up, they're immature, they're misbehaving, and for sure they deserve to be punished for that, don't they? Yeah, this was me in 1991. And 6 months into studying men, using everything I learned against them, not knowing I had an attitude of know thy enemy, the only woman, and I didn't get to see her interact with her husband up close because they were usually separate, but the only woman whose life I envied called me on what I was doing that diminished men, that she had seen me do it or knew I had done it because she saw the results because she was friends with these men. And that was the big wake up in August of 1991. Within about 10 days, I met Greg. He would tell the story as love at first sight. I looked in his eyes and knew he loved me. Thought that was really weird, and I shouldn't be thinking that because I had a boyfriend. And yeah, that was the beginning of 28 years together. And many of you know that Greg passed away about 6.5 years ago. Well, that was the beginning. And as I learned more and more about men and how different they were, because when I stopped attacking men, I didn't do anything to bring out the best in them. And I was stunned by how they became. They were amazing with me. And I wasn't even doing anything good. I just wasn't being mean anymore. I just wasn't undercutting them. Or if you know me, I wasn't emasculating them. And within about 6 months of that, I knew I had to write a book about what I'd learned about men because they're not what we think. And but I knew I didn't know enough to write that book. And so after about 4 years, I asked a friend of mine, I told a friend, I think I need to do a workshop to teach women about men so I can learn how to teach women about men so I can write the book. Little did I know that would take another 12 years. Yes. But meanwhile, instead of boys, guys, and men, I was distinguishing in a la Camelot pages, knights, princes, and kings, and seeing all these things about the transition from prince to king, learning from my son, who is a page. A page is a wannabe knight, and they idolize teenage men, they idolize them. And we're going to play for you the first, it's about a minute and a half of what Harriet did. And I'm going to let Harriet talk about what she did because, oh my gosh, I'm in awe of her talent. And you can read her biography at AlisonArmstrong.com. There'll be the image right there in the homepage of I Was Just Being a Man. And you can go to the page and you can hear snippets in different places on our website. You can see the graphic we created, which just completely communicates the awe that I have for men and who they are in the universe. Talk about transformation. But as I was trying to learn to write what eventually became the Queen's Code, I had to write something. Like there was a bursting out of me. And that's what became Keys to the Kingdom.
Oh,
Yes. So Keys to the Kingdom were the first four characters that turned into eight in the Queen's Code. And it's a channeled work, which I couldn't say that word at the time and I couldn't own it. So that what that means is I didn't write it. I typed it. And I had all these notes. I had an outline, I had a whole plan. But when I sat down at my laptop to write it, the screen opened. And it's always right here. And this movie started running, and I was inside Claudia's head. And I was hearing her think. And and then I was inside another woman's head. And then I was inside her husband's head. And then I was inside the other woman's husband's head. And turns out that Mike, Karen's husband, was in the tunnel, the transition between prince and king. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say for now. Well, no, that's not all I'm going to say. It took me 8 days to type Keys of the Kingdom. 46,000 words in 8 days. Technically impossible. Same thing happened with Queen's Code, 96,000 words in 3 weeks. You can't write that, right? I was literally turning a movie into a screenplay. Ah, and and I investigated publishing, but it takes like 2 years for a book to be published. And people urgently needed to know this. And that was just at the very beginning of self-publishing. And so I decided to self-publish. And I was about to put in the first order. And my husband suggested that maybe we should order 50 to begin with. Because he knew he could probably sell it to that many friends and family.
Uh-huh.
Well, to this day, Keys the Kingdom, which was published in 2004, I think it was 2004, might have been 2003. I ought to be able to remember this, but I don't.
Well,
But
I'll tell
yeah, but we sold 2,000 of the first printing.
you.
I had
Wow.
to bet with Greg about it. And to this day, it's in a very teeny tiny percentage at the top of books that are sold on Amazon. And I still hear from men who read it and cry. And they've said the same words over and over and over again. I've never felt so seen in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they've said over and over and over again. And what a privilege. So then then Harriet comes into my world, and lo and behold, with her stunning talent as a songwriter, managed to take 46,000 words, capture the point and the heart of the matter of each of these stages and what men are focused on in each stage, and they can't not do it. And there's no misbehavior involved. It's part of their becoming. It's part of their becoming a man. And she wrote this amazing song that captured that in 5 minutes. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Harriet, because the next 20 years are your story because it was lost.
Right.
The song was misplaced from 2004 until 2025, till
Well,
about 6 months ago. So please take over.
okay, let me tell you that it's got to have been 2003 because I got married in 2004 and I came
Okay,
to your workshops before I got married.
okay, then you're right.
Okay, so, and I read the book and I came to your workshops and when I get that inspired, the song comes really fast. So I wrote the song and I somehow got it to you, and you played it before the workshop. It was just me singing it at the piano on a cassette,
Yes, yes, it was a cassette tape.
a cassette. And so 20 years later, 23 years later, I get an email from you. Remember that song? Someone found it in an old trunk. And do you think you could get it recorded with a man singing it? Because it's really not right for you to sing it because it's from the viewpoint of a man.
Yeah.
So I did. I went into Marty Rifkin's studio and got Randy Crenshaw to sing it, and I sent it to you, and now it's on your website. I'm very happy to say.
Yes, it went up for sale on November 14th. And you say it so simply. Do you know? get a hold of the studio, got a hold of Randy Crenshaw. Well, so I'm going to fill in a little bit here.
Okay.
So, so Harriet, back in 2003 or four, whenever it was, offered to have the song recorded in Nashville by a man.
Right.
And Harriet, you played samples for me of singers that you recommended. And none of them felt right. They didn't feel right, but I didn't know why they didn't feel right. And then when I reached out to you and you responded immediately earlier this year, and yes, let's do it. Harriet, your enthusiasm is, I want to be you when I grow up. Okay. I want to be just like you
Oh,
15
back at
years
you.
from now. Yes. And so you sent me, I think it was three different voices that you sent me. And when I heard Randy, I knew it was him. I That was it. And for those of you who aren't familiar, we're going to play you the beginning of the song, and it's written from the point of view of a man from the end of the journey. Now, we'll find out at some point if Randy actually becomes what only about 10% of men become, beyond king. About 10% of kings become elders. And it's a complete transformation. And I'm lucky to to know a few. And so we'll see if Randy does that. But it's definitely from the point of view of a king and not this 10% exception of an elder. And it had to be that. How you wrote the song, a king had to sing it. And that's when I realized that the other voices, they were princes, or maybe in the tunnel, they hadn't arrived and they couldn't sing it from the point of view that you wrote it.
Right.
And and then miracle of miracles, darn, I'm forgetting Randy's wife's name.
Oh,
What's Randy's wife's name? It's in the description on our website.
yeah. Because it was their
So
46th anniversary or something.
46, yeah,
And he
it
sang
was,
it. Was it
he's,
Linda?
yes, it's Linda. So he
Okay.
recorded the song in the studio on the day of his 46th wedding
Oh, it
anniversary.
was so exciting. And he said, "This is my life story." That really made my day.
Oh my gosh. And you can hear it from the very beginning of the song. You can hear it in his voice that he's singing to Linda and how much he adores her. And that's really, if our company name is PAX, and it's the Latin word for peace, but it stands for partnership, adoration, and ecstasy.
Oh,
Yes, yes, because that's what I saw through what I learned from studying men, that it's really possible for us to be partners. It's possible for us to adore each other, which means to hold in the highest love and esteem and regard, that we can actually do that, men and women with each other. And ecstasy, these moments of such happiness that it's bursting out of your chest, that those are all possible. And that's what we've been dedicated to for the last 30 years. And so the way that that all turned out, and I remember Marty, who was on the instrumentals, and it's his studio, and he's also been married for a really long time. And you're telling me stories about how he and Randy were um, kibitzing about how much it described life as a man.
hmm.
Do you want to add to that?
Well, I couldn't have chosen better people because they both had long-term marriages and they both went through all the stages you described. And it's just ironic, isn't it? I mean, I there are lots of studios I could have gone to and singers I could have used, but to have the very people who personified what is in the book and therefore the song, what could be better than that?
Oh, it's amazing. And when you sent it to me, I wept. I wept from them like the first few words in all the way through. I'm not exaggerating. I cry every time I hear it. Um, y'all are gonna y'all are gonna hear in the beginning of the song when he describes being a stage, being a page, which is at this stage of a boy. And there's a line that you took from the book, Harriet, that I learned from my son. And he had come and complained to me that that he was bored. And my reaction in my head was, wow, I would be embarrassed to admit that. Like, I never have a chance to be bored. Little did I know that's how a woman's brain works. It's really hard to be bored. And but I heard like, whoa, I'd be embarrassed to admit that. And then I stopped myself. It's like, hmm, okay, what if there's a good reason for that? What if this isn't how I think it is? And I said, Jeff, what is it like to be bored? And, Jeff has these big brown eyes and these long eyelashes, and he's looking up at me and he says, oh, Mom, it's like dying real slow.
Wow.
How can you know that at like 7 years old, right? It's like dying real slow. So just so you know, every time we get to that point in the song, it just my whole heart bursts. And before we play this first minute and a half or so of this 5-minute song, I just want people to know that we're not going to play you the whole song because I am committed to artists being acknowledged. I am committed to that. And so you can download the song on our website for 99 cents. You can listen to it on our app, which the Alison Armstrong mobile app is free. You can buy it so that you can listen on the app for 69 cents. So we're not making this impossible for anyone. And I just hope you'll join me in acknowledging the artist that went into something so beautiful and so inspiring. And I mean, hundreds of thousands of men have been taught the stages of development, and it changes their life. It might be in the millions because Tony Robbins teaches it in his workshops too. He fell in love with it as well. So, what do you think, Harriet? Shall we play it for them now?
Sure, just the very first part through the first chorus, but you have to remember there are 4 stages, and the story is the reason the song is any good, and you should read the book. But if you want a shortcut,
Or you don't want to read. I made an audio recording
oh,
of
that's
He's the
true.
Kingdom. Yes. So I will read it to you and I will recreate for you the movie that I watched. And I am not a voice actor, but I
Oh, it is
couldn't
wonderful.
I couldn't not imitate what I saw.
Yeah.
And yeah, so thanks for that. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so I'm going to share the screen and do this, and then we will hear it.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a gift, it's not only for you. If you use it, it might just help me too. It's called The Amazing Development of Man. It talks about all the people I've been. So listen, girl, not with your mind alone.
You know by heart.
Open up that heart of yours, I've come to depend upon. First I was a page when I was just a boy. Everything was fun, life was a joy, provided I never ever got bored. And I was always headed headlong toward anything and everything I thought was worth trying. But being bored was like slowly dying. I was just being a man, I didn't always understand, but I did the best I could, and sometimes it was good enough. I hope you're listening.
You can hear clips. You can hear a clip of the next stage, which is being a prince, and you can hear which goes into the tunnel. And I think somewhere we have a clip of being a king, but I'm not sure. I just really wanted to make sure nobody could take what you created so beautifully and gifted
Oh, thank
me.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we don't want any Spotify thing going on here where songwriters don't get paid at all.
Yeah, please. Yes, so pages and knights and princes and kings and the transition from prince to king, which I've learned a whole lot more about in the last few years. Um and I love Harriet. I was just being a man, and as of course, and we, titled the song that, and and it can change a mother. It can change a mother to see the so-called boys as young men, really young men, little men, but they are men. The heart of a man, the drive. I mean, we have seen the drive to protect and to provide for others. It- has been witnessed as young as a year old. As young as a year old, a little boy responding to being thanked by his mother for how he helped her
Oh,
and that she's his hero. 1 years old, puffed up, puffed up. Uh, yes, it's being a hero and making a difference and contributing. It's not instilled. It's in there, and is it going to be nurtured or not?
right.
And are we going to let them help us, or are we going to care more about everything being done our way, for example? So yeah.
Yeah.
Harry, thank you so much for being with us
Oh,
tonight and
thank
for
you.
the gift of this. And anything else you want to say?
Well, just that, I not only read the book, but I also took the frog farming workshop. And I learned so much from everything you teach. And, I understand the joke that goes, if a woman's in the forest and a man is not there, is he still wrong? No, if a man is in the forest and a woman is not there, is he still wrong?
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
learned so much about, how we compare them to the perfect woman and all that. I mean, you really have a handle on so much. And I'm sure my husband is grateful to you that I took it before we got married. It looks like someone's hand is up. I don't know if they
It,
are
it,
permitted to.
it is. So I'm going to go ahead and, because I believe this is one of your students, but we're going to go ahead and say goodbye on Instagram,
Absolutely.
and then I'll invite Andrea to answer her question, to ask her question, and we'll
Okay.
answer. So
Right.
thank you everybody for joining us and letting us share with you this. It's just such a story of romance and honoring and what's possible. So I hope you'll spend the 69 cents, the 99 cents so you can hear it. And I encourage you, if you do get it, the first time you listen, notice how you're listening and notice if you're skeptical that maybe this is just wonderful men. And then listen to it again with maybe a man in your life in mind and go, wow, what if, what if he's gone through this? What if he's going through this? And then listen again with another man and again with another man and play it for a man and ask him, can you relate to this? And what would he say about it? And then put the imaginary duct tape over your mouth and listen and listen and listen. And it, it could transform your life. It
Oh,
really.
thank you for inspiring this song because, yes, you were so right. Play it for men. They all
Yes,
understand it so well.
yes, they do, and they can see where they are.
Mhm.
I'm there, but I'm not there yet. Yeah, it's really
Okay.
special. And they find out there's nothing wrong with them, which is such a
That's right.
gift because
Yeah,
mostly they're told that everything's wrong with them.
that's right.
All right.
Thank you so much, Allison.
Yeah.